Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sakari. In this series we will be going through the development of a new digital mandala app called Sumo Mandala. Sumo Mandala is for the mobile platform. Here it's running inside iPhone 15 simulator. And in the last video I think we went through a little bit about the new user interface I've been working on. And I showcased this petal drawing feature a little bit. And yeah, I've been continuing on this new panel UI. The idea with this panel UI is that you can adjust these shapes and each drawing feature of the digital mandala engine I've been working on for with this kind of touch panel, so with touch interface. And this has been going pretty well. Like here you can see the pedal feature, and I can show you all the features of these current drawing features so you get an idea. So here you can select the drawing style. We have the pedal strokes, which means change it to stroke color. Then we have the feeling, which we can toggle here. This just changes the feeling of that color. Let's toggle that off for now. Then we have pedal distance. So with this you can adjust the distance of the pedal. So with these pedals you can also do this kind of sine wave pattern. It's pretty nice. So with the distance editor you can adjust the distance of these pedals from the center origin point. So the idea here is that each one of these drawing features will have like a separate panel. And then we have like a settings page here, and I can reset here the setting from here. Okay, it's not updating it, but yeah. The idea is it would reset that. Have to fix that, but yeah. So we also have a settings page where you have all the different parameters. So actually, like, this pedal is made up of like many different parameters. I think there's like, we don't have the icon set here, but you can adjust like the distance from here, and the tip point, and another control point. So this is for like discrete adjustments. And then you can of course like go and edit the shape, which seems doesn't update yet correctly, but so you can like you can have like this touch based control for all of the drawing features, and then you can have the discrete parameter control. So here we have the discrete parameter control, and for example with the petals there's many, I think there's like 6 or 8 parameters that make up the petals. So this way you can adjust them like with a delta value. So if I put this fine on, it will adjust it with fine tuned. And the difference with here currently is that now if I copy this layer and I scale a new layer here and if I now I'm editing this layer, so if I now edit the pedal shape here, it's actually like it's changing the pedal directly. But with the discrete controls I can choose, here I have a toggle to select multiple layers, and I choose all of these, and let's zoom out a little bit. I choose all 2 layers to be modified, and now if I would modify here, it would just change the shape to the same. So if I do this, the pedal shape will become the same. But if I go to here, I can first make the second one a little bit different, like this. For example, like that. So now when I select both of these layers, now actually this is like, it's increasing the value of the one parameter. So with this here you can like adjust or add or subtract from the values. So this doesn't set it directly. So with this you can have like relative control of these all of these patterns. So let's see what other patterns we have now on UI implemented for. Of course you can change like the control number of points here. That's a nice shape. But let's go back to the simple one so I can just show what the different draw styles are. So here we see the active draw feature, which is now the pedals, and you can toggle it on and off from here also completely. If you have like fill on, it will toggle the whole feature off. Actually that's pretty nice. So let's copy that and let's like make another layer here. And let's disable, actually, yeah, it's a bit reverse still. So we can do like, well, let's keep it simple. And yeah, let's disable the pedals for now. And then we have, here we have the lines feature. So this will toggle the drawing of the lines feature. And with the lines feature, we have now 3 different kinds of lines you can draw. So we've had the curve on here all the time. So the curve editor is here. With the curve you can change the curvature of the lines, individual lines between these points. You can see it easily here with only 2 points. And actually if you put that to this, so this is like direct control of that curve between these points. Here we only have 2 points, so but if we enable 3 points and a recursion of 1, it becomes this, and you can like create beautiful shapes like this. Let's change the color here. That's a nice color. Then we have the, if I toggle that off, so clicking here will toggle this on and off, and then I turn it on the stars. This will draw star shapes. So with this you can also see the basic here. It's just like a angled line actually, but it becomes like a star-like feature when you increase the number of points, for example here. So you get this shape. Then we have also the settings page here, and this is just like controlling individual parameters here. Line width. Oh yeah, we have the line width here. So this line width adjuster here is this was a kind of a pain in the ass to implement. Sorry my language, but I needed to do like a non-linear adjuster here. So usually sliders they work from like linearly, but with the line width you want to have more range of control, adjusting control in the lower range, because the line width between 0 and 1 is more sensitive or more usable range for these kind of patterns. So you would like to have like more control over, easier control over here. And then when I go over here, it already like adjust more, and here we have like even more, and in the end you can have like even like this kind of. So the idea is that you could easily let's try that, like to get a negative space. You could easily like it's better demonstrated maybe here. Let's turn off the star, or actually I'm just demonstrating this. Oh yeah, now if I change this it will change both of those. Anyway, the idea was that because you need to be able to adjust like even big line weights, and with just a linear adjustment that's not really possible in this space. So when you go to the upper range it adjusts a lot more than in the lower range. This enables like smooth control with the touch patterns, touch controls. Okay, that was the line drawing feature. Then we have the points, which means okay, it will draw a point at each vertex point. So for this we have a different separate visual editor. Wow, look at that already. And you can fill the points like this. You can change the color, of course. Here we have separate colors for the stroke and the fill. So you can have different colors for both, just to have more control over this. And yeah, let's try that. And so you can like, let's turn off the feeling. Actually, let's use a white color just to demonstrate this. And with this already, you can easily create the flow of life pattern. Just put it here, and voila, you have the flow of life there. And this follows also like the line width, so you can do pretty shapes with this very easily. And then we have, of course, the petals. And yeah, let's turn off the point so I demonstrate this latest one. This is something I started working today. This is the same as now this compass controller. This is for the right hand use, so you can use the right hand at the same time as you're adjusting these with the left hand. So this is already mapped, this left and right, to this child radius ratio parameter, which means that this controls the, if I turn that down, this controls the size, the ratio of the children shapes. So this is the parent shape and this is the child shape. So this controls the ratio between that size. So I've marked here on this line with these guiding lines. There's that's half, that's 1, so it's equal to the parent. Let's turn off that so it's more clear. This is 1, it's equal sized, and this is golden ratio right here. So here you can see like 1.618, and here you have 2. So with this you can very quickly do like this kind of, you can copy, you can copy again, maybe change the color a bit, create a nice effect, copy again, change the color a bit, change this. And I'm using this simulator, so it's a bit different than when you're using from the touch screen. So obviously I can only use one finger at a time, but with this you can like very nicely already create this kind of classical sacred geometry grid patterns. And just like that. So let's delete this, make it a little bit more simple. And yeah, so this has like been, the most of the work has been going just designing and figuring out like how do we do this with the touch screen. So let's turn that on. Oh yeah, that's incorrect, it's here. It's on. Yeah, it's still missing like some visible stuff, so you can see it more easily what's happening. But I'm glad about the progress of this UI, because making, I think we already have like 5 different, let's see, we have some code here. So 1, 2, 3, 5 different draw features, and like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 different visual editors. So so I have to kind of like just figure out what's the best way to represent these shapes as visual forms. And it takes a lot of time just to design, test, and UI work is it can be frustrating. You can just, I just spent one day just styling these, and currently I have to do all it myself. I'm happy about I can work on this, but it's a lot of work to do this in a matter that we can reuse code and not write everything from the start. So luckily Flutter enables that. It kind of forces you to separate the model. So I can just show you a little bit about the details of, like, for example, let's see, we have the line width model. So for example, for the line editor, which is this one, this one. So we have like how many different parameters we have to control it, just the lines. It's like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's like 9 different parameters to control how the basic lines appear here. And you can also like combine the stars here. So you can combine stars and curves, so it creates this nice effect. And yeah, just getting like everything working and communicating with the underlying geometry engine and updating the UI state, updating when you change these layers and stuff like that, like doing that in a way that works so that I can reuse the code and not have to write everything with ugly hacks and so on has taken a lot of time. But I had one point that I had in mind, like previously, just to go a little bit into the technical trenches of the code. So let's say, for example, one thing I've noticed during this development time now that I'm especially working alone on this project is that I used to comment a lot. Like I used to maybe over comment things. Like I used to have like, let's see. I can show you a little bit about this code here. So for example, here I have a class implementation. So I used to like write like comments on each of these like members, class members, because I used to work at Rightware, which did this 3D engine. And this company had some of the best programmers I've known. Like they were guys who had won assembly combos. Like almost everybody there had attended assembly, this big demo scene event in Finland with a lot of graphics programmers. And actually like that's where the whole game and graphics programming community in Finland kind of like rose, was from people attending assembly. So this company, they were developing their own 3D engine. And I worked there as 6 months as a senior software engineer. I worked on their custom 3D engine, and they had really strict guidelines or like rules how to implement their C++ code, and that one included that everything must be commented. Like if you have members of classes and functions, then you should comment those. But I understand that from when you're developing an engine, but I think this kind of like affected my thinking maybe a little bit too much. I learned really how to do 3D code and C++ code there, but the environment was honestly a little bit toxic there. It was like you had to be really part of the ranks and comply to the lines, and kind of like they were very strict about what kind of code they would let into their repositories. And yeah, that I've noticed that had a big effect on me. I really learned there how to do C++. Well, this is Dart, so I have a C++ engine that is calculating these geometries. But back to the point, I really kind of like took maybe too much into my heart that everything should be clearly commented and so on. So now I've been listening to the Primogen, and he's been talking about not commenting at all if possible. And I think I'm gonna like continue this style more now. And the idea would be that, yeah, for example, let's say we have a public class here that this code use, for example, form panel. So previously I would have commented each one of these member variables, what their role is and so on. But I noticed it like when doing a lot of this kind of similar code, it just takes a lot of time to comment everything. So now I'm commenting only things that are not obvious. For example, here the slider value is taking a range of 0 to 1, so that's not really obvious unless you look at the code. So I've commented that. So I don't want to comment anymore too much of this stuff. What matters more, I think, is just having clear names and grouping them, for example, so that you can see very clearly that okay, these are related. And if you have like clear names for your variables and functions. I think it should be self-explanatory. And yeah, this is of course a large, big subject to talk about, so I won't go too much into that. But I believe that if you're writing code that is used by customers, that if you're writing library code, for example, writing a library that people are using, then of course you need to take more care to make it obvious how to use that, and then comments on member variables and interfaces and so on, they matter more, because the customer or whoever is using that code will have to know as clearly as possible how to use this code, what does it do. And this is something Flutter has done an amazing job. The documentation is like so you can very clearly see, for example, with Android Studio here, for example, if I look at any of these methods provided by Flutter, they have very clear documentation here on each of these. So it's like it helps a lot. So I don't have to browse the documentation. I can just look, okay, what does the state variable do? Okay, yeah, state objects are doing this and this. So I'm very happy about seeing this in Flutter. And yeah, a little bit about also, like, I've been watching Flutter being updated, like they're using the impeller engine. Now this is running with the Skia version, because they're still not on fair to parity with the line rendering quality in impeller. So our application needs very accurate line rendering, and Skia with its vector graphics is already been honed over the years for God knows who knows how long. So over 10 years, 15 years. So they've really put a lot of effort into the line rendering qualities. And with impeller, the new Metal and Vulkan and DirectX based, I think it's, well, maybe they're not targeting DirectX yet, but at least for mobile, they're now redoing the whole engine graphics with instead of using OpenGL like Skia is here using, they're gonna be using Vulkan on Android and Metal on iOS and later macOS. So I'm still kind of waiting that the impeller rendering engine is on par with the quality with the Skia, and I can actually show a little bit. So here we have, like, you can see it's very beautiful, the line rendering here. But if I stop this and I go to run it with here, like with impeller enabled, yeah, it's building the native code here. But I've been watching this development, and Flutter has been doing an amazing job with the impeller backend, so I'm very happy about the work they're doing. This is our framework. I've been waiting for 10 years to come, so, or more, since I started working on this. So now if you look at this shape, you can already see, like, it's a little bit ugly, you know. It's not up to par with the quality, and especially, like, if you change the line weight doesn't even change here. So but I got in touch with one of the developers who's working on Flutter and the impeller rendering engine, and they told me that he's working on these features, and I was happy to see my bug report being put on the bloggers list, so they will be focusing on it at some point. So here's me hoping that Flutter impeller will reach feature parity with the Skia renderer. Anyway, I think that's like a lot of stuff already for this video. I'll be continuing development, and hopefully we will be releasing Sumo Mandala Open Beta once I've got all of these drawing features and animation controls implemented with the new UI model. and hopefully that will happen during the next 2 months. So then you will be able to test this and on Android and iOS. And I will of course update more info then and later. So this is Sakari. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you see on the next video. Bye bye.